Welcome back. In this lecture, you're going to learn how to use something known as a breakdown. And what a breakdown is that it basically allows you to view your data in a segmented manner. So whenever we're looking for specific data or we're looking for certain pattern, using breakdowns is a really nice overview to find those patterns. Let me show you what I mean. Let's dive in. So I'm going to be using this account once again because when we have a little bit of information and a little bit of data, it gets more exciting and it provides a better example, right? So you can still use this feature, but it's going to provide you more efficient data, the more data that you actually collect. It makes sense, right? So if we go up here, we have something known as columns, and we've already gone through columns. It allows you to see different templates here. If you're looking for something specific, we can customize our own, and all of these are different columns that we can look through. Now, to the right of that, there is something known as a breakdown. And what a breakdown is that it allows you to break down certain data and put them into segments. And segments meaning that it allows you to see specific data from specific demographics and specific metrics for each of your different campaigns. Let me show you what I mean. So if we go by time, for example, and I would put this time today, as you can see, we're gonna get some specific dates as to when did we get certain results. So we can see here that 2018 when we ran this, remember this is an older account that we're looking at. So when we ran this back in the day, we can see which day that we got which result. And that also provides us some key information. So for example, if we're running this for a couple of weeks, we can see which are the days that are performing the best, which are the days that are performing the worst. And that also means that we could create certain rules to turn our ad sets or even entire campaigns off for certain days and even increase the budget for other days, right? So this gives us a breakdown in segments, this being an entire segment for a course. So we get to view the data a little bit differently. If I go back and I want to clear the breakdown, I just click on clear breakdown, everything goes back to normal. All right, so you have a different times. You can look from days, weeks, 2 weeks, and a month. We can also look at delivery, and this, in my opinion, this is where it gets really exciting. So if we go to delivery and we look at age, for example, we can see what ages that are interested in our ads or that we're getting results from. We have to realize that we're also going to see the age that we're targeting between. So here, for example, for the Instagram marketing course, we can see that we're targeting between 18 and 44, right? Because it's reaching that far. However, going here and looking at the results, we can see that we are getting much more results for the 18 to 24 and much more results for the 25 to 34. So what does that mean? Well, that means that it's probably more worthwhile to go and set the ages between 18 and 34. And also, if we're looking more budget efficiently, it might even be more worthwhile to focus on the 18 to 24 because those are a little bit cheaper if we're gonna look at the cost per results. So this is a really efficient way to understand your data. Scrolling down, we have a like campaign here, right? Building social proof. So let's see here, we have 18 to 24, we are getting the results of 29, while 25 to 34, we're only getting 9, and 4, 1. You can see as it goes up the ages, the results are getting worse. But even more interestingly, the results are also getting more expensive. So here, for this campaign, it's very, very clear cut, right? That if we want to be efficient and optimize our ads, we want to aim for this age because it shows that we're not only getting better results, we're also getting much cheaper results. And that is a key point in here. So going back to breakdown age, we can also look at gender as an example to see which one is performing the best for our campaigns. So I'm just gonna move this here. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see that we're targeting only men in a lot of our ads, in a lot of our campaigns. But scrolling down here, we can see we're targeting females and males. But here's the interesting key, that the female targeting is much cheaper than the men's targeting. And that is a key point here because we want to be efficient with our budget and get efficient results. So rather than targeting both and getting similar results and paying much more for one gender than the other, we could target only women and scale that budget because that means that if we're paying this much for only women, we're going to have much more results. So that means that we're optimizing all of our ads this way. So that means that we're going to be able to pay for much more results with a smaller budget. Amazing. This is how we optimize, and this is how we gather important information. Scrolling down, very same. Oh, this is very clear cut, right? So the link clicks is pretty clear cut that, yeah, it's more popular with the men here, and the men are also cheaper in this specific campaign. So very clearly I'd go with one over the other, but also looking at the impressions we're getting, we might want to run this for a little bit longer to see if this catches up. But still, the preliminary results are very promising. Going back, we can also clear this so we get a clear cut, and then we have a lot of different options to choose from. We can look at country, we can look at impression device, we can look at platform device, we can go to action as well. But let's go for one more in delivery. So we're gonna go for impression device here, just to see that where is it being, which device is being shown the most to, are we getting the most results from. So this is a very interesting metric to have a breakdown from, because as you can see, for example, here we have a course that we're running an ad from, and we can see that we're getting the most link clicks here from the desktop. That's very interesting, right? The second being mobile from an iPhone, and the other one being a smartphone. So of course you can put these two together, right? Because these are both mobile devices. So that's worthwhile to remember, while this one is a lone desktop. But interestingly enough, we can see that the Android smartphone here is actually much cheaper than both the desktop and the iPhone is. Now, again, we want to up these impressions a little bit before we are too sure about the results. We probably want to reach around 8,000 impressions, but it's still some very interesting preliminary results. Scrolling down even further, we can see, all right, for the like campaign, we have an Android smartphone, and the Android smartphone is getting much more likes than, say, the desktop, right? Pretty big difference there, also informs in terms of the impressions that they're getting. So this might also mean, for example, that whenever you're selling something, it might be more worthwhile, or in these cases with the courses, to target desktops. But whenever we're building social proof, it might be more interesting to target mobiles, right? Because people are more interested in engaging in content generally on their cell phones, on their mobile devices. But when it comes to desktop, they're more stagnant, they're more willing to buy things. Generally, as we speak, and as time is moving forward, this is changing because everything is becoming one-click and more mobile friendly, so more and more people are purchasing on mobiles. But still, I find that it's a very good tactic to focus on selling to desktops, because people are more keen on buying whenever they're using a computer. Right? So this is an interesting way to gather that information. Let's clear the breakdown once again. And now let's go by action. We can look at conversion device. A conversion device is of course very interesting, because a conversion means, for example, if we have a purchase conversion, that means, okay, then the conversion means whenever they bought. If we have an add to cart conversion, that means whenever they added to cart. If we have a click conversion, that means whenever they clicked on a certain place. So a conversion can mean many things. A conversion can be a lead too, right? So the conversion is going to be dependent on the strategy that you have, whatever it is that you're optimizing for. Or if someone lands on your landing page, well, that is a conversion as well, if that is what you're aiming for. So scrolling down here, we can see where are we getting the most. So we can see once again it's the desktop, we're having the most results, but we also have to remember to compound these. We're not having the cost per results here though, which is a very interesting metric that we're getting on the previous one. Scrolling down, we can once again see the like campaign, smartphone definitely ahead, and then the traffic here once again, desktop way ahead, but this is also specifically targeted to desktop, so that makes a lot of sense. So this is a very interesting way to break it down from whatever metric that you're looking at, whether it might be by actions such as video view type or carousel cars or post reaction, or for delivery, impression device, platform, etc. And also remember, you can add in multiple breakdowns at once. I can also add in the day in here. So then we have the conversion device, and we also have day. So you can see that the information compounds like this. So you get a date for whenever whatever has happened. And then when you want to clear the breakdowns, you click on clear breakdown. So what we're going to do in the next lecture is that not only now when we know how to break down the data, we're going to learn how to save down this data so that we can do whatever we want with it. We could send it to clients, we could share it to an agency, maybe you want to add it to your Google Analytics, maybe you want to send it to some intelligence to help you analyze it. You can do whatever you want with your data, and you can also have a freelancer help you scan it. You can share it to other people who have access to the account. So we're going to learn how to report this data that we just learned to break down. See you in the next lecture.